Roman Reigns, Triple H, and Paul Heyman behind Jey Uso's success, WWE is facing backstage issues before King and Queen of the Ring. Randy Orton's sudden moves at ringside leaves a star in pain. Becky Lynch is losing a huge match for not signing new contract. Triple H forced Naya Jax to be safer in the ring. Tama Tonga spoke for the first time. Solo Sikoa destroyed after SmackDown went off the air. Original WrestleMania 40 plans greatly disappointing. Roman Reigns and Triple H teamed up against The Rock. Let's dive right in. Let's dive. WWE is facing backstage issues before King and Queen of the Ring. There seemed to be some technical issues that affected the WWE broadcast of the final SmackDown before the King and Queen of the Ring 2024. It was quickly noticed by some fans who criticized WWE for it. It mainly pertained to the backstage segments and the audio issues surrounding it. It was first seen in the post-Bianca Belair match segment. During her interaction with Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae, there were some audio issues as what was being said was rather muffled. The same repeated in the backstage interaction between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. While we're not sure why exactly there were audio issues, the criticism seemed to be less that it happened live, and more that the audio issues backstage persisted during the delayed broadcast in the usual airtime across the world. Fans on X were of the opinion that WWE should have fixed the audio issues by the time SmackDown aired, as there were quite a few hours between the live taping and delayed airing. When Randy Orton cut a promo later, the mic ensured that he wasn't muffled. On the other hand, the backstage segment featuring Bayley and Naya Jax saw the issues continue, with Nia needing to speak louder to be heard. Randy Orton's sudden moves at ringside leaves a star in pain. The May 24, 2024 episode of SmackDown saw Randy Orton land a big victory before the WWE Universe in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. The Viper has now advanced to the final of the King of the Ring tournament and will be facing Raw's finalist, Gunther. Interestingly, the Ring General received a shattering glimpse of what will be coming his way on May 25th. Randy Orton fought the semi-final match against the Bloodline member, Tama Tonga. Gunther, who had already qualified for the final after beating Jey Uso, was watching the match to determine his future opponent from ringside. A video clip shared by WWE on Instagram showcased the Apex Predator taking the fight to ringside to give Gunther a closer look. The two quick spine busters on the announce table generated the perfect reaction from the Ring General. The former WWE Intercontinental Champion seemed to be impressed by the damage Randy Orton was inflicting on Tonga. Gunther himself is known for going hard in all his matches and punishing his opponents with his slams and chops. In fact, his exploits even made a former WWE champion decide to have no future battles against him. Gunther went head-to-head against Sheamus for the third time in his career in the quarterfinal of the King of the Ring tournament. Both superstars had brutal battles in both their previous encounters, but the Ring General had always come out on top. The outcome of their third match wasn't any different, and left the Celtic Warrior with deep red marks on his chest from Gunther's chops. Shortly after, Sheamus added a tweet on X, renouncing any more battles with the Ring General. There will be no Part 4. Both Orton and Gunther have punished their opponents heavily to make their way to the final of the King of the Ring tournament. Gunther's teammate Ludwig Kaiser had helped him secure the win over Sheamus. However, Kevin Owens, who made a surprise appearance at Jeddah, will be keeping a close watch on him and could hit him with a stunner at the drop of a hat. It would be interesting to see who among Randy Orton and Gunther comes out on top and receives a title shot at WWE SummerSlam in August. Becky Lynch is losing a huge match for not signing new contract. It seems to be contract renewal season in pro wrestling, as multiple WWE stars have been in the news regarding their existing deals. During the latest episode of Sportskeeda Wrestling's Smack Talk, Dutch Mantel discussed how Becky Lynch's contract status could impact her booking. The man has been embroiled in a storyline with Liv Morgan, and many believe she could drop the title at the King and Queen of the Ring 2024. Dutch Mantel also felt that Liv Morgan should dethrone Becky Lynch at the PLE and urged WWE to let Liv have a strong run with the belt. As for Lynch, Mantel acknowledged that talents whose contracts haven't been extended often lose matches, which could also happen in Becky Lynch's case. Lynch, though, is widely expected to sign a new deal with WWE, and Dutch Mantel believes a break for the reigning champion would be a good idea. I agree. Just let Liv run with it and see what she can do. Let Becky take time off, and it's funny when one of their contracts is up and they haven't signed it. It affects your ability to win a match. I've never understood it, but it does. They can't just do crap. But that contract is not signed. But putting it on Liv Morgan is, I think, the best thing to do, even if she did sign. Dutch Mantel explained that some time off for Becky Lynch would make fans want to miss her more, giving her a much-needed character refresh before returning. In the meantime, Liv Morgan can become a credible heel champion and keep the door open for future programs with Lynch and Rhea Ripley. Moreover, Mantell stated that Triple H had a deep WWE roster full of promising talents to replace a few big names temporarily. I think that's the best thing to do. Have Becky take time off, as they have done for years and years anyway. When she's gone, people will say, "Oh, I would like to see Becky Lynch again." Now, she is new again. Bring her back, do something fresh with her, and she takes off again. I mean, their roster is that big. They can do that now. Beating Becky Lynch has never seemed to be easy in the WWE, but considering the factors at play outside the ring, Liv Morgan could very well pull off arguably the biggest win of her career soon. Triple H forced Nia Jax to be safer in the ring. Former WWE manager Dutch Mantell feels Triple H played an important role in improving Nia Jax's in-ring skills. The chief content officer is currently in charge of the creative process for the company. During her early years in WWE, Nia Jax wasn't exactly the best in-ring technician. This led to a few freak accidents where a few stars got injured while in the ring with her. However, the irresistible force has been a dominant presence on the WWE roster since her return to the company, and is now poised to win the Queen of the Ring tournament after she defeated Bianca Belair in the semifinals this week on SmackDown. This week on Sportskeeda Wrestling's Smack Talk podcast, Mantell detailed that Triple H possibly made the decision to help Nia work a safer style. He stated that WWE was highly invested in Jax and worked hard to make her a reliable performer in the ring. See, her big criticism was that he hurt people. But Triple H said, "We gotta fix that. We can't have this specimen of a talent just sitting there doing nothing, so we can correct that." So you can tell they have done a lot of work on her. If this Triple H's stamp is on her, the last thing he wants is for her to fail. And she's not gonna fail. You can tell how much work they put into her. During the same conversation, Mantell pointed out that Nia had adopted a slow pace in the ring of late and was working much safer. He also mentioned that she is connected to a great bloodline and is destined for success in the company. It will be interesting to see if Nia Jax can eventually win the Queen of the Ring tournament this Saturday. Tama Tonga spoke for the first time. WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi has reacted to Tama Tonga's first promo since making his debut a few weeks ago. The legend shared the clip of Tonga's promo on his Instagram story. Tama Tonga cut a quick promo on tonight's edition of WWE SmackDown, targeting none other than the wise man Paul Heyman. WWE later shared a clip of the promo, stating that those were Tonga's first words on WWE TV. The clip came to Rikishi's notice soon after. He then shared the same on his Instagram story. Tonga was the first member to be added to the bloodline after Roman Reigns went on a hiatus following his WrestleMania loss. Solo Sikoa was responsible for Tonga's arrival, and it marked the beginning of a new era for the bloodline. Mere weeks later, Solo brought in Tonga Loa at the Backlash France Premium Live event, adding more strength to the faction. Solo also told Paul Heyman that he talked to Reigns after he went on a hiatus and would be leading the bloodline in his absence. Solo's power in the group is clearly increasing with each passing week, and it would be interesting to see what happens when Reigns eventually comes back to WWE TV. Solo Sikoa destroyed after SmackDown went off the air. Solo Sikoa was seemingly set to wrestle the final dark match of the night on SmackDown in Jeddah, but things went awry as a returning star ended up taking him out. The bloodline failed to crown a king as Tama Tonga was knocked out of the King of the Ring tournament by Randy Orton. Right as Solo Sikoa began beating down Orton, former Universal Champion Kevin Owens returned to save the day, giving Orton a chance against Gunther in the finals. But a Saudi street fight was seemingly scheduled, and the match never ended up taking place as 9-time champion. Kevin Owens took Solo Sikoa out to stand tall with Randy Orton after SmackDown went off the air. Kevin Owens hasn't been around since Backlash 2024 in Lyon, France. On that occasion, he and Orton took the bloodline to their limit, but Tonga Loa ended up costing them the match. According to Paul Heyman, Tonga Loa didn't clear customs and could not make it to Saudi Arabia due to a dangerous past, hinting at a storyline criminal record. Either way, Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline will not be wrestling in Saudi Arabia on Saturday. There seems to be a big power struggle with Paul Heyman reluctant to hand Solo the keys to the kingdom. Original WrestleMania. 40 plans greatly disappointing. Cody Rhodes finished his story at WrestleMania XL as he won the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. However, veteran writer Brian Gewirtz recently made a shocking claim about the original plan set for the American Nightmare at the Show of Shows. Despite Rhodes' Royal Rumble win, WWE reportedly had plans for Roman Reigns to fight with The Rock at the Showcase of the Immortals. The fans, however, turned against the final boss and wanted to see the 38-year-old challenge the tribal chief for his title instead. The wrestling promotion went ahead with the match, which resulted in Cody Rhodes ending the head of the table's 316-day title reign. During his recent appearance on Busted Open Radio, Brian Gewirtz made a shocking revelation regarding the original plans WWE had in store for the former AEW star. Although he did not get into the details, Gewirtz stated that many people would have absolutely hated the original plan. I do ultimately want to write a second book on this whole thing, so I don't want to say everything, but I will say, and I can say this with 100% certainty, that the original plan is something that you, Dave, and many, many more people would have hated more than anything in life itself. I can't overstate that, or understate that. I can't state that any more clearly, he said. Cody Rhodes is currently scheduled to defend his title against the United States champion, Logan Paul, at the King and Queen of the Ring Premium Live event. It will be the American Nightmare's second title defense after beating AJ Styles at WWE Backlash France earlier this month. Cody Rhodes is one of the most popular babyfaces on the roster. However, The Undertaker recently stated that he gets heel vibes from the undisputed WWE champion. Speaking on 6 Feet Under with Mark Calloway, the WWE Hall of Famer claimed that Rhodes would be a good heel. I don't know that he would switch as a champion, but I don't know what the approach would be there. I think he would be a good heel. He gives me heel vibes. I could see him very easily being smug and better than that. Don't get carried away. That's all work. But I can see it. I feel it in his character, he said. Cody Rhodes has portrayed heel characters several times in his career. However, he has yet to turn heel following his return to the company at WrestleMania 38. It will be interesting to see if and when the wrestling promotion decides to pull the trigger. Roman Reigns and Triple H teamed up against The Rock. The Rock was an instrumental part on the road to WrestleMania 40, as he and Roman Reigns joined forces in their quest to stop Cody Rhodes from finishing his story. However, as we know, the original plans were very much different from the outcome. The final boss was originally scheduled to face Roman Reigns in a dream showdown at this year's Show of Shows, with his championship on the line. Moreover, another report stated that The Rock was slated to win the championship, only to hand it back to Reigns the following night. A report by Ringside News, as we reached out to The Rock's camp, stated that WWE indeed had plans for the final boss to win the championship, and it originated from his own team of members. However, in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, it was reported that WWE CCO Paul Triple H Levesque and Roman Reigns himself were very much against the idea for the tribal chief to drop his championship to The Rock at WrestleMania as per the original plans for their match. Triple H and Roman Reigns were pretty strong against the idea that The Rock would win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 40. Of course, the fan backlash led to Cody Rhodes retaining his rightful spot in the main event of WrestleMania 40. Furthermore, Rhodes defied the odds and dethroned Roman Reigns to win the undisputed WWE Championship in one of the most memorable WrestleMania main events of all time. What are your thoughts on Triple H and Roman Reigns being against the idea of The Rock winning the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 40? Roman Reigns, Triple H, and Paul Heyman behind Jey Uso's success. Let's start off by saying happy birthday to the tribal chief Roman Reigns. We wish him all the best. A top WWE superstar has credited Triple H, Roman Reigns, and Paul Heyman for his rise to the top of the main roster over the past few years. The star in question is Jey Uso. The 38-year-old is one of the most popular stars in WWE today. His rise to the top kicked off shortly after Reigns became the Universal Champion at Payback 2020. The tribal chief later began a feud with the Yeet Master on SmackDown, leading to their epic Hell in a Cell I Quit match at the namesake event. On the latest episode of the Busted Open Radio podcast, Jey talked about his meteoric rise on the main roster. He stated that Triple H, Paul Heyman, and Roman Reigns helped him improve his game. Once we started tapping into the emotion part where the promos were just, hands-on, there's no crowd. So every little thing that we did in the ring or on camera was just like, to me, just magnified 10, 100 times more. So like the facials, the line deliveries, man, just everything was, I learned from that era. Being with Hunter, Triple H, and Roman, and Paul Heyman, it just brought my game up, man. It brought everyone's game up around us, and I was just really happy to watch that unfold, Jey Uso said. Roman Reigns' feud with Jey Uso ended with the latter being put down by the tribal chief. The Yeet Master then joined forces with Reigns, and thus became a member of the Bloodline. Jey finally quit the Bloodline last year. He then pinned Roman Reigns in a Bloodline Civil War match at the Money in the Bank 2023 Premium Live event in a historic moment. Today, Jey is one of the biggest and most popular stars in all of WWE.